Hello, and thanks for joining the session. Today we're going to be taking a look at the OAuth stuff that we've done with our Twitch integrations so far. One of the first things I wanted to point out was that I may have found part of an issue that was causing the webhooks to not work. If we look online right now, I can see that the webhook did work. When this broadcast went online, it still took about 2 minutes before the on-air switched on its own, but it did do that on its own. Which is pretty awesome. If I click here, the other thing we can see is that it has the correct title. So we've been able to broadcast now the upcoming next episode automatically. So I didn't do anything for this, which makes me super excited. So Twitch OAuth API review and maybe YouTube OAuth. That's actually what it says on Twitch right now, with a little bit of stuff in the beginning. So I'm pretty happy about that. Everything works. This webhook is still pretty slow. I did a little bit of research on the a little bit of research on this. I'm going to see if I can pull up whether or not I got a response. Signed into the developer forum. Let's see what was under here. Stream webhook updates. Is there a response? Yeah, so webhooks will always have some delay before sending notifications. Some topics such as stream change or additional delays on things like the stream going down. Up to 3 minutes is common. Stream going down takes 5. All right, so let's see, this other person looks like it's actually Twitch staff. Webhook to fire as soon as the data is available. Stream change webhook has been a challenge. Latency between stream ingestion and API that is unavoidable. All right, so I guess this is more or less what I'm going to have to live with, and I'm totally fine with that. It did show up eventually, and that was pretty much what I wanted to have all along. And we're also doing the publishing of the title, which just makes me super happy because I no longer have to go and do that manually. I do still have to go to update my tags. Let's see if those are updated here. No, see, this time they're already there. I'm not sure why. These tend to go away randomly. There's no way to do anything about that in the API yet. So I just have to remember to do that on its own. So the thing that was sort of my fault on the why the webhooks weren't working, if I look up for the Twitch subscribe command, I'd originally had this lease set at, let me double check here. This value was originally 1800. So when I looked at it yesterday, it was 1800 seconds, which is only 30 minutes. And the interesting thing was that the frequency at which I'm running this command was once an hour. So that is why the webhooks appear to not work for the most part, is because once an hour I'd get subscribed to them and I would see the ping back that the subscription happened, but then I would not always still have that lease available later. So anyway, I've fixed that now. I've switched it to be 6 hours instead, and that's going to make a big difference. I'm still not doing anything with the secret, so I should do that to make sure that I'm actually doing things correctly, but there's not a lot I can do about that at this point. Just they're working now, which is a big step up from what they had been. So I'm just going to take that as a win. So let's see here. If we look at the list of topics, or the list of things that we were going to try and take a look at. Let's see if I can pull up. There we go. So far we did the app level Twitch. And I think I'm going to say that that's good to go, because that's pretty much what we needed to do. The one thing I did want to look at was the events. And this kind of got a little messy yesterday because my head hadn't been in it in a while. But we had a message handler that published Twitch metadata when stream changed. So I don't think that's the correct one. One of the additional abstractions that we have in place is this idea of the stream being online or not. And if we look at, let's see, where do I have that? Oh, here we go, stream. So we have a stream manager that determines when a stream comes online. It's all handled in the cache, so it's not actually persisted anywhere truly meaningfully. So this is more or less what we actually want to do. So we have some events here related to that. So we have message, command, stream, bring stream online, bring stream offline. So this is actually a command that is being driven by Twitch or by the actual command. So if I look at our command handler, our command line tools, let's do stream push online. This is doing Twitch stream changed. Really, this stuff needs to be reworked because originally everything came from Twitch, but ultimately we should probably be doing things with the stream online. So what I think I want to do, just stream change handler here. I think I want to switch this to work on stream brought online. So make sure there's an event for that. Oh, there isn't an event for that. Okay. Yeah, so the messages between the commands and the events, they're kind of messy right now. And I think that maybe I won't touch these just yet, and let us work now on a different OAuth provider. So I think the next important one is going to be YouTube. So I'm going to do an app level OAuth connection with YouTube. And now that I sort of have a first pass with doing this with Twitch, I sort of have a better idea going into it how we should set up the stuff for YouTube. So the first thing I'm going to do is head to YouTube. Let's see how I can set up an app. So I haven't actually done this before. Come on, there we go. All right, so I think I'm gonna have to sign in. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. That works for me. All right, so let's see, guides, products. Streaming, schedule, YouTube broadcast, manage your video streams. So that's probably what I'm going to want to do because I'm going to want to update the title on Google as well. Let me see if I can bring up what our stuff looks like on YouTube. Because I haven't actually used YouTube a whole lot in the past. So this is the Astrocasts page on YouTube. So you can see it just says Astrocasts live session. It's not actually doing anything interesting with the titles anymore. I'm going to pause that. So ideally, I want to do the same sort of thing. When the live stream happens, I want to be able to update this. Let's see how quickly that happens. I'm going to use the restream tool. Astrocasts live session. Let's see now if I go back here. It didn't update real time. Let me refresh the page. Yeah, okay, so the title did update now. Okay, so I should be able to do the same sort of deal. So let's go ahead and see client libraries, API Explorer. Get auth credentials. I think I need to register an app just like I do normally. Server-side flow, client-side flow. Securely stored persistent information. Client ID. Okay, so developers console. Here we go. Upgrade, update those. Google API. So let's see. Dashboard. So let's create a project. Your project needed to enable APIs. All right. All right. Let's call this Astrocasts local. It's going to be the local version. 12 projects remaining in your quota. I love how all of the different tools have slightly different ways to do the same thing. So let's see here. Dashboard. Okay. Okay, so none are open. So popular APIs and services. Okay, so I have a project now. OAuth content screen. Okay. Not really going to do that. Not right now. It's going to take forever. The content screen. Let's see. Add scope. Learn more. Create credentials to get started. What kind of credentials do you need? All right, where would you be calling this from? Web server. Okay. Create the client ID. Okay. So the name of your OAuth client ID, not the display name of your app. All right, let's do Astrocasts backend local. Authorize JavaScript origins. Authorize redirect URIs. The path will be appended. Cannot contain URL fragments or relative paths. Okay, so we'll do the same sort of thing that we did for Twitch. So let's go find out what we did for that for sure. Twitch controller. Okay. So in a public top level domain. But what about for testing? almost feel like I need this. Check quote on access. Let's first set a product name on this on screen. Relative paths. I don't know why they're making this so complicated. Not exactly sure what to do at this point. Do I need to specify it? No. Let's see, what email address do I have? Do I have hello? Yes, there we go. Product name to show to users, Astrocasts. Okay, so now I have a client ID. Download the credential information in JSON format. Credentials page. All right. All right, so I think that should work then. So let's see, what can I do now? If I look here, credentials, library. Okay. So if we go back to env dist, the things that we had were Twitch app client ID. So we're going to do something similar now for Google, for YouTube. So we'll do YouTube app client ID and YouTube app client secret. And then I'm going to use the actual values in .env. Let's see here, we've got one client ID and client secret. Okay. Traffic errors, enable APIs and services. So I think I already have this up and running. Manage. Okay. Let's see if we can try this API. Okay, channel, let's do live broadcast list part. Library has resource API as well. The part names that you can include in the parameter value are ID, status, details. OAuth 2 scopes. Parameter was URL encoded. Valid credentials. Key is your API keys method. You may need to activate the toggle above. It's a toggle. All right, let's see if there's a different one here. Activities list, live broadcast. I like how there's chat messages here. Stream list returns a list of video streams that match. The part names that you. Mine. The mine parameter is. Set this parameter value true. Manage YouTube videos. View and manage your assets. Private information. Page token. See implementation guide. Not sure if this is a channel. All right, let's see what we got. So we have PHP. So there's a package here. Google API client. Add scope. That's a lot of HTML. Okay, go back to that. Sample requests. Retrieve subscriptions. Activities caption channel. request broadcast, conclude your broadcast. So set it up, create a stream, bind your broadcast to its stream. YouTube content ID, create an asset. Broadcast represents an event that can be watched. All right, so this is actually way more in depth than I thought it was going to be. For PHP, yeah, you keep telling me to go to the docs, but there's nothing there. Let's see if I can do videos.list. It all wants a part, and I have no idea what a part is. Such as if you set part snippet, this will contain all of those properties. For example, in the video resource, the snippet property contains the channel ID. Is it not set? Oh, come on. You can create credentials. I like these built-in API explorers, provided they actually show you what they're doing. Invalid client. Oh. What's my API key? See if I have an API key. Let's see, project Astrocasts. quota calc. All right, let's see if we can get it to work without the API Explorer. I'm a little bummed that we couldn't get that working, but okay, so let's copy this information in. So we're going to use just this little placeholder text file. It's essentially a scratch file to see if we can use the API correctly. I'm going to remove all of the Twitch related stuff. This now has the Google related stuff. Let's go to Packagist. Google/API client. I think this was what it was that we needed. So we'll use this. And while that's firing up, let's see if we can figure out how we're supposed to use it. What's the app key? Basic example, follow the instructions, client, set auth config, set the scopes required for the API you're going to call. Let's see if we've brought it in. I want to see what this actually does. Oh, wow. Huh. This is a case where Flex is kind of cool, but I didn't really expect this. So let's see, Google API client. Manifest, let's see what it has. It's configuration values, and it has API key, client ID, client secret. Yeah, I don't know if I actually want that. But I can copy this, which I think will be awesome too. Google Cloud Platform. Add the API key to your request. Pick one or more products, select or create a product, and set up a billing account. Once your API key is created, you will be prompted to restrict the key's usage. Well, this is for maps. I don't need it for maps. I'm working on YouTube. Credentials. Is it in that JSON file? So client ID, project ID, provider, client secret. All right, so let's see what we can do now. Set set auth config is either an array or a string. If is string config type. All right, so I'm going to do this manually. Let's see if that works. So client set client ID. I think I'm going to have to do something with the URI as well. So set redirect URI. Double check the cool. All right, so now let's see what we can do. So in order to actually get the code, we need to get the URL. Client get sample simple file upload. All right. Create auth URL. All right, and then once we have that, we should be able to use the code. Okay, and then it looks like there are different classes. So let's do YouTube client, service YouTube, pass in the client. Set access token. pass that in. Let's see if that makes sense. If isString token, JSON decode it. All right, so let's just guess that's going to work, and then we can do YouTube client. Live broadcasts. List. It's asking for that part again. Let's do snippet. Let's see if this works. All right, so I'm going to go here. Scope. All right, so I need to figure out which scopes I need. Channel list, fields. Manage your YouTube videos. Okay, so I think I can do so that's YouTube. Manage your YouTube videos. So these are just strings, constants that represent the URL for the scopes that we're adding. So we're going to do YouTube upload next. YouTube upload. Let's see if that's good enough for what we need to do. All right. Valid parameters for redirect. Non-public domains not allowed. All right. We are going to have to do something different then. We're going to try and do valet share and hard code this URL. See if that works. So rather than the URL we want, we are going to use this one temporarily. Okay. Must have a protocol, cannot contain fragments, and cannot be a public IP address. All right. Seems like a pain to have to do this every time we change this, but authorized domain list. All right, let's do ngrok.io because I'm sure that's secure. What's a top private domain? Seems really, really difficult. Deploying and testing an API. Well, I'm not going to get very far here today, unfortunately. Create an endpoint. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining chat. The problem that I'm looking at right now is that I can't seem to get I can't seem to find out how to work with the Google API locally. I have to have a redirect URL. I have to have a public redirect URL. And apparently you have to register the actual domain for your account, and this one won't work. So I'm actually pretty stuck. Pretty much nothing is working with trying to get this Google API up and running. The documentation has been sort of having me running in circles looking for how to do this. So I have a couple more minutes here before I probably need to be done with this, but I can't find good documentation for doing local development with the Google API. There's a tool you'll need to reverse tunnel into your local machine. Yeah, I have that. I have that. So I have ngrok set up. So I thought that would work. This is actually my local instance here. Yep. So I'm using ngrok. The problem is when I went into Google, just to show you the loops and everything, when I click on this URL to redirect me, I'm specifying the redirect URL is ngrok. So just to show that, this is the redirect URL that I'm passing to the client. It's complaining that the redirect in the request does not match one of the authorized URLs for the OAuth client. So it said, if you want to update that, visit here. So if I click here, it takes me to this screen. And if I want to set an authorized origin, so I did do this earlier. So I'm going to add this URL. Actually, I'm going to add, I'll do it in the order I tried it before. So I'm going to add the redirect URL to the console here, authorized redirect URL. And it complains that the domain must be added to the authorized domains list before submitting. So I can't save this. If I go to the authorized domain list and try to add ngrok.io, well, I'm going to try and add this first. So I'm going to put that value in. Why did it allow it this time? What? All right, awesome. So if this works, that will be great. No, so I think maybe what happened before was I had read more about this, and I might have tried to do. I would have thought I would have done that first, but if I do just ngrok.io, it gets upset. So I thought that meant that I wouldn't be able to do anything, because when I clicked on this bit here, it talked about if you enter google.com, then you can use any of these other things related to google.com, like flights.google.com and whatnot. I could have swore I've used this one, but thanks for helping, Rubber Duck. So let's see if we can get this going. I still need to let's see here. I think I still need to add this to the app. So authorized redirect URLs. Let's pull that up, see if it works. Awesome. All right. So let's try clicking this again. The redirect does not match one of the authorized URLs. All right, let me try creating a new one. No. The request does not match the ones authorized for the OAuth client. Okay, I'm going to go visit this again. You need to do a new cycle first. What do you mean by a new cycle? Oh, see, it didn't save it. Unless that's what you were meaning. Request a new login, okay. I'm going to click in here. Authorized redirect URL is still this URL. Can't tell if it actually saved though. It's not saving. Unless I'm doing something wrong here. So we have this D1FE credentials, go back into here, paste. Might be that I just have to wait and try again on Thursday. So I think we're almost out of time here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be saving that value for some reason. Maybe I should, I'm going to try something different here. Try a different connection. So let's go back. Let's add another domain. We'll remove the old one, add the new one. All right, so consent screen saved. I'm gonna go and change this here. Create a different redirect URI entirely. Maybe there's some weird cache thing with it being the same value I've been trying. Okay, that did something. It's still, I don't understand. Now it's stuck, but it's not really there. I'll try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to put this off until next session on Thursday. Yeah. All right. Well, for as much of a hard time as I gave the Twitch API when I was trying to work through Twitch's OAuth, this has been very interesting trying to get the Google data stuff working correctly. Part of it was probably my fault. but it's been very, very difficult finding out how people are supposed to do this with the local testing. So I don't know. It's also not clear to me. Most of the apps that I've seen before doing OAuth things, you create specific apps for things. This made me create a project. It's letting me create different credentials for the project. So I'm treating those sort of like apps and giving them different access levels. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's kind of what I'm working on so far. I could probably try bringing this back up. Oh, forgot who I was. All right. All right, let's see now if I try to go in after having restarted the browser. Nope. Have the console up. Oh, I'm getting a 404 somewhere. One last thing, and then I'll be signing off. Don't want to do that. Oh, all right, that makes sense. I'm not upset about that because that makes sense. All right, one last time here. All right, so we got a button. I don't know why that's coming out. Yeah, it's not saving, so I don't know. It could be a bug with Chrome, could be a bug with my account, could be anything really at this point. I don't know. Could be some. Oh, now it's there. All right, let's try it real quick. All right, we're going to allow it. Yes, go ahead and allow it. All right, so now we have a code. Okay, cool. Well, and then I got invalid credentials again. I was having this issue earlier, so I don't know if it's that I'm not asking the right scopes for what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this access code, and I think that's going to allow me to bypass this part. And then set access token. And let's see, can I just set a string? String if JSON. Okay. So that should be more or less what we just did. And it's still giving me invalid credentials, which is what I was getting through the API Explorer. And pretty much none of this has worked. This is exactly the error I got through the API Explorer. Now that I'm finally getting an access token here, or if it's a different ID. Let's see if I can do channels. List channels part. Still invalid credentials. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to come back to this on Thursday. So thanks for joining. Working with this particular API, I feel like I've done this with Google in the past and had a lot of fun trying to get it up and running. But hopefully we can get something going a little better on Thursday so that we can start updating the information on YouTube, just like we're doing with Twitch. But thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping on chat, and we'll be talking to you again soon.